So I thought I'd make a video about what I learned from the Baltic trip, kind of how it all came about, and also what's next for the channel.
To the Baltics, the Baltic boys.
I got a lot of questions asking like, why the Baltic trip? And I think that's exactly it. Like, no one's doing it. Everyone's off going to other places, doing the kind of trodden path. And we felt like this was like a path untrodden, if that makes sense. And how this all came about was I was with Adam one night getting drunk whilst I was visiting. And I'd mentioned that I'd never been on a road trip, or I've never had like a friendship circle I've never been road trippers. And I had no idea what it entailed, like, do you plan it, do you not? And then he mentioned that he had this Baltic trip in mind and someone else who was interested in doing it, and that was Max, who you probably saw in the videos. And because I'm nomadic, it's so easy to do these types of things. So I was like, let's do it, let's go. So we put together a plan of like rough touch points that we wanted to go to, but we didn't want to feel kind of beholden to that plan. Like, we wanted to be able to deviate if we wanted to. And we did, we changed one or two places that we were gonna visit, just to make up some time and whatever. And also, we didn't need to see any more castles, put it that way. So yeah, we put together a plan and we just went for it. And it was such a great trip. I'm so glad that I did it. Which leads me on to kind of what I learned. But instead of doing it in a boring setting like this, let's change things up a bit.
What I didn't actually tell you on the vlogs, just because it's not actually that interesting, is that I left my wallet in Klaipėda.
Wow, beautiful place. You've served us well.
I think that's how you say it. They posted it to me. So I'm gonna go pick that up and meet someone in town who I met in Lisbon, just through a meetup. So I'm gonna go meet him, have some coffee, catch up, do a little bit of work, and along the way I'll explain a little bit more about everything that I said in the intro. So there's so many different perspectives I can talk on of what I learned from the road trip. It could be the filming, it could be the format, it could be just the road trip in general, which I think is what I want to talk about, because that will help you, right? First of all, be prepared to have loads of like little costs here and there that you didn't plan on doing, such as ferry tickets, border crossings, things like this. The weird thing I found out about Google Maps, I mean, it might get better when you look into this, but if you plan a multi-stage trip, it doesn't tell you about ferry crossings. If you do A to B, it'll tell you that there's a ferry crossing with price or whatever. But if you do multi-plan with multi-stops, it doesn't do all that. It just tells you a basic kind of timings and all that. So that, you know, maybe that's unique to us, but I think it's a good thing to expect that you're just gonna encounter lots of little costs here and there, parking. Second thing is, you're spending a lot of time with the same people as well, which is amazing, but depending on your personality, it might be wise for you to, you know, spend some alone time or do what you need to do to be able to survive that longevity with those people, because I love Adam and I just met Max and we got on great, so it was perfectly fine there. But it's just, you need to actually know how you feel after spending a lot of time with people. So that's the other thing. And I also think the idea of having a plan is an interesting one, because you kind of want to just go out there on the road. But I stand by my decision in like having a loose plan and then heading towards that direction and just being okay with stopping and whatever the group wants. But that's the other thing as well. You have to be a bit more generic, I think. You have to be okay with not wanting to do everything that you want to do, basically. So Max and Adam and I spoke about this, which is I'm more interested in seeing things, seeing places and stuff like that, whereas Adam's more interested in kind of food and sort of the city stuff as well. That's a really good blend of things, and I think we managed to get it all in there. But it's just good to know what everyone wants out of the trip as well. So I think that would be really beneficial to kind of know up front potentially. I'm just waiting for my bus now, so hopefully I won't miss it. I think that's another interesting thing as well, that Max was a little bit nervous about, like, not booking things in advance sort of thing, and he wasn't too worried about it, don't get me wrong, but it was something that me and Adam were like, look, we'll find somewhere on Airbnb and kind of book it. I think we're still in the old way of thinking where it's really exciting and scary to kind of do things spontaneously, like rock up to the airport and buy the next ticket, or not know where you're going. Thing is, it's so easy to do that stuff now. It's no longer scary. Like, you can book an Airbnb with a night's notice. Oh, this is my bus, so I've got to go. Okay, so that's the machine over there, and well, I need a pin to get my package, which I don't have. So I need to wait round. I've sent the person who sent it a message, and I've just got to wait for them. So anyway, that was the other thing I was thinking about, the cash thing. Depends where you're going. Like, we got on fine. It would have been nice to have a few little euros here or there. I actually got stuck in Vilnius for ages because I didn't have a euro for the bus to get back, so I ended up having to buy a ton of tickets on their app. But a lot of places have an app which you can just buy tickets on. Unfortunately, Vilnius, you need to spend at least €5 basically. So anyway, other than that, it was a pretty straightforward thing to do. Like I say, long gone are the days where you know, it's a challenge to travel in that way. It really is such a simple thing to do nowadays. So I think that's all I want to say, and now I want to go check to see if my message has arrived, and then I'm going to go meet Andre for some coffee. Finally, let's go meet Andre at the coffee shop. Another tip for the traveling thing, make sure you have a local SIM card. European SIM cards aren't the cheapest or the best, but I think UK people get 12 gig to use for free, so yeah, that's another little tip there. Actually, that was another thing that we spoke about, was the frequency of places we visited. And I think that comes down to personal preference, because you could blitz it, and we spoke about seeing half as much in the same amount of time. I mean, again, that comes from my personality, where I just want to see a lot of things. So again, probably understanding who you're traveling with and what you want to do, but there's no way to know some of this stuff until you actually do it. So yeah, maybe some might say we did a lot, 50 driving, 50 like seeing things, but I was happy with what we saw. I love checking off and getting an overview of everywhere we've seen. So yeah, up to you, that one. What a day. So I'll wrap this one up here. Yeah, in summary, I think that planning loosely is a good idea, and not really being beholden to that plan, as I say. Knowing who you're traveling with and their kind of personalities is also kind of good, and what everyone kind of wants out of the trip might be a good thing to chat about before you go. I will leave links to my website, which has all my kind of travel tech and things that just make this stuff a bit easier, that help me on the road anyway. So I'll leave that in the description box below. And I think my biggest bit of advice is just go and do it. You're never going to have everything perfected, and it's not as hard to do these things spontaneously as it once might have seemed. So if you did enjoy this episode, then thank you so much for tuning in till the end,
give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got some very exciting news.